Listen to me. We are going on the trip now. It's going to be rough. Hold on! If you hear something in the woods, you tell me. If you hear something in the water, you tell me. But under no circumstance are you allowed to take off your blindfold.
You hear that? The creatures.
Hello, and welcome to Cinema Craptaculus, where we say a bad movie is just as hard to make as a good one, just a lot easier to make fun of. This is Stephanie, and with me are my uncrappy co-hosts,
Dave.
And Steve. And with us today, in John's sad, cold absence, because he has a cold.
He's sick.
He is
very
sick.
ill.
He's mentally ill. And he's sick.
We're going to start a GoFundMe to get him some NyQuil.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
some
That's
NyQuil,
sweet.
some Robitussin.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I thought it would.
Listen, if we add Build the Wall, we'll totally get the money.
You know, build the wall, the cold will fall.
Okay. Moving on.
Topical.
We have a very special guest with us today, Miss SHARON HOUSTON.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me on the pod.
Good. Welcome to our pod. This is our studio. It's really nice,
It's
right?
very nice.
Did you get a chance to jump in the jacuzzi first, or are you good?
You know what? It's really cold tonight in LA, even though it shouldn't be. So I decided not to go in the jacuzzi, but I did step foot in the sauna just for a second. I
Yeah.
took my
Nice.
shoes off. I took my shoes off.
Good, thank you.
It's
you.
really nice in there. I think I might do a nice little sweat after the podcast.
I'm glad you're enjoying it because it's a really fancy place we're at right
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the grounds. How many acres are we on? I mean, it looks like 5.
It looks like 5, but it's actually 6.
Wow.
now. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really, it's
See?
something.
Really,
Now,
really
SHARON, you and I have known each other a very, very long time.
So long.
But you have a lot of things going on in your own world, so let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you. First of all, I want to know something here. You do a web series called
Yes.
Bob and Donna,
Bob and Donna. It's my favorite thing.
and tell us a little bit about Bob and Donna.
The dog just farted.
We also have.
Vinny. Oh, hi. He's real comfortable with me, apparently.
We also
I'm
have.
like, okay.
That took a turn no one saw coming.
I saw it in his eyes.
He was like, oh.
He just relaxed.
Let one rip.
Poor puppy. So Bob and Donna is a show that my friend Randy and I created. I was living in New York during the election, and we both got very, very depressed. And Randy was like, we got to make comedy. That's what we have to do. And so it was his idea. Let's do something with a married couple from Michigan, because we always talked about doing it when we were in our 20s. And so we came up with Bab and Dana. We just wanted something that had lots of ant sounds for the Michigan accent. And I'm wearing a Liza Minnelli wig, and he's wearing a Trump wig backwards.
Oh, wow.
And got a mustache. And then he wrote scripts, and I was like, no, we need to shoot this like a reality show. And he said, well, who's going to shoot it? I said, we are. We're going to put a phone on a selfie stick, and we're just going to walk around Manhattan. And it is so funny. And we were like, we love it. So then he came to LA. We did another season. Then we went to Vegas in October and did shot our 3rd season, which is airing now. So you can find it on Instagram at Bob_and_Donna, or on YouTube, Bob and Donna. And on YouTube, the episodes are about 1 minute and 25 seconds, and on Instagram, they're a minute.
We're hitting the strip, the Vegas Strip.
Bright light city gonna set my
Oh,
Look at it, Bam. Look at it, Bam. We've gotten lost in 4 different casinos.
Viva Las Vegas.
I love the slaps. Now I gotta cash out my winnings because I'm a goddamn winner.
She's a 90-cent loser.
For a living, you made your way around as a producer in court TV shows.
Yes.
Some of the court TV shows we might have heard of that you've worked on?
Yes, Judge Joe Brown, Divorce Court, Judge Alex, Judge Faith, and then one that never made the light of day called The Hollywood Judge. The judge was not from Hollywood, nor was he a judge. He was an attorney from Miami.
What?
Yeah,
But that's very Hollywood when you think about it.
It is very Hollywood.
role.
He kind of looked like Eric Estrada, but with gray hair. He would open up his dressing room wearing no pants, and I would have to go in and brief him. And I'm like, could you put some pants on? And he's like, I don't need pants. Come on in. I mean, it was just a weird.
So you had to brief him?
him with briefs.
Yeah.
No,
we already went there.
boxers.
You had to brief him with boxers.
Yeah.
Now, this led to Judge Jackie.
Kind of, yes. I what happened is I had a deal. I've created lots of TV shows and partnered with famous people and great production companies, and nothing has ever sold. And I was sitting in my apartment and I was crying, and I was like, what can I create that people will trust me to really know how to produce? And I was like, a court show. I hate producing court shows. Well, if a drag queen was a judge, I would like producing it. And I was like, oh my God, the perfect person is Jackie Beach. She's the funniest and the smartest drag queen in the world. So I asked her if she would want to do a talent deal with me, and she said yes. Then I asked 2 other people who are not part of the podcast to do different roles that are not in the podcast anymore, and they said yes. And then I used existing footage on YouTube, and I cut together a sizzle reel, got a deal at Scout Productions, who created Queer Eye. We shot a new sizzle reel, shopped it everywhere, and nobody bought it. I cried. And then I was like, I bet I could turn this into a podcast. So I did. And we are now in our 2nd season, and we're almost getting 10,000 downloads a month. It's a slower build than I thought it would be, because we launched in October 25th. Wow. So, and I expected it to get very recent, and I thought it would just really jettison, but it's been a slow build, but it's building. Like every Wednesday we release a new episode. And so Tuesday night is like Christmas. I can't sleep. And then I look at the numbers and I'm like, they're finding it. They're finding it. And we're starting to get a lot of YouTube subscribers as well. Because I shoot it because people want to see it because it's a drag queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Judge Jackie, and I'm a bitch. All rise, honey.
Your Honor, I work as a florist. I work at Blossoms Designs in West Hollywood, and the fall and the spring are very, very busy. And around the
Same-sex weddings.
Same-sex weddings. And as you know, Kim and Kanye released that lovely photo of them in front of an entire wall of flowers. Right. Every gay husbandzilla wanted that for their wedding from then on.
So it's going well. And I've got a couple celebrities that have committed to do season 3, which we're going to start shooting in probably 4 weeks.
Where can people listen to it?
You can listen to it everywhere. Stitcher, iTunes, Libsyn, every podcatcher has it. It's on everything at Spotify. Mm-hmm. And you can watch and listen on YouTube at Judge Jackie. Judge Jackie.
Which is the perfect segue to our movie of the podcast, Bird Box.
What a fucking shit show.
And on that note, and scene. We're done. Thanks, everybody, for coming. No.
I got into a fight with my neighbor who I love because we disagreed about Bird Box.
Well, let's start with the rapid recap.
All right.
Rapid recap.
Well, the rapid recap is it's like A Quiet Place, but with blindfolds.
Okay, let's move on to discussing it.
That's a great analogy.
And I think you did that quick.
That was
rapidly, yeah.
That was the most rapid recap. Yeah.
It was a rapid recap.
But that's exactly what it is.
It was, I seen both movies. I actually thought this was stronger. I actually did.
This is going to be fun.
Oh, it looks like Sharon's about to sucker punch you.
You saw the wrong movie. You saw something else. You didn't see Bird Box. You saw something else, honey. Because let me tell you something. A Quiet Place was scary as fuck. And I was like, that shit could happen. Oh my God, what a nightmare. When I watched Bird Box, I was like, what? I started laughing immediately.
Now, okay, this is good. So she found that's what they say about horror, is that horror sometimes is a very fine line between being scared out of your brains and laughing hysterically. So we have scared out of our brains and laughing hysterically. So, Stephanie, why don't you tell us what was your big take? Okay, here's the other thing that Dave and I were discussing before.
Wait, I want to know what you guys think first, and then we'll get.
Because fuck Stephanie.
I want to hear Stephanie's thing, but from the beginning, I just want to know one word.
Where everybody's placement is.
Yeah, I want to know
Dave,
where everybody's placement. Who am I bonding with?
I was, honestly, I was pleasantly surprised with it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But we'll get into it.
Okay.
I'm on the fence in that.
Oh,
I will say this.
What a wuss point of view.
I had a lot of big problems with this movie, which we can go through.
Yeah.
A lot of big problems with this movie.
Me too.
The big plus for me with this movie, which is really the only thing I enjoyed about it, is Sandra Bullock's performance.
She's the best actress in all of the land.
Was one of the best Sandra Bullock performances that I've seen in a very long time.
And she got to fuck that hot guy.
Yes.
I want to fuck him.
Let's
make it happen, everybody.
I just wish
it had to.
It just didn't happen in this movie. So that said, okay, let's go for the big overall thing. Here's my question, and then we'll go around, and then I'm gonna. I'll tell you what's something interesting that we found. So my husband and I watched this movie, and at the end of the movie, I said to him, "What is this movie about?" I just go, "What is this movie about?" And he said the most interesting thing. He said, "It's about social media." And I went, "What?"
What?
That's what I said. But wait, hear him out. He said, "It's social media. The monster is social media. And people can't look away, and their minds explode, and they lose their brains, and they go and kill themselves, and they become these weirdo zombies. But the people who are able to finally look away, but then they can't, the ones who can finally get away from it survive." I found that interesting.
That is very profound.
Very interesting take.
Did he read the book?
There's
I feel like, I'm like, what? I guess there's a book. I want to read the book because I wonder if I would draw that conclusion. That is very, very interesting.
That's what I said. But I will say this. As soon as the fucking movie started and I found out that you die if you look at it, I go, where's all the blind people?
Yeah,
That was the first thing that you think of.
Yeah,
you thought really? That's the first thing you thought of?
Immediately, I'm like, where's blind people?
That's so funny. I didn't think that
They're
at all.
partying.
I was laughing too hard to think of anything. Honestly, I was like, "This is hysterical!" Oh my god!
First thing that set you off.
Yeah. Where did you break?
When did I break? Okay, so the opening, Sandra's in the car with her character's in this car with Sarah Paulson, who's playing her sister, and then when Sarah Paulson's eyes glaze over, I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" And I was a little bit scared. People were like crashing into shit. A little bit earlier in the movie, actually, when they were showing the news footage from other countries where it was happening, I was like, this is retarded. And then I know you're not supposed to say that, but and so then but yeah, but then
that is retarded.
Yeah, you're supposed to say that, not this. So her eyes started glazing over, and then when the woman comes out of the house, who is revealed to be John Malkovich's wife, when she comes out of the house and she's like, "Mother, sleepwalking," like she's in Nosferatu, I just started laughing. I'm like, this is fucking dumb. This would never happen. This is so dumb. But I was like, let me just go on the ride and suspend my disbelief. You know what I mean? Like,
there's a lot of disbelief to suspend.
Yes. And so I tried to embrace it, but then when Dumpling jumped out the window, I was like, oh, hell no. She is too fat. She is too fat to get that momentum going to jump out the window. There's no way. And then I started laughing. I was like, this is a comedy. I've been had. They told me it was horror. Yeah, I got Bird Box, man.
Stephanie, you were in from the beginning to the end. You felt...
Well, I'd been spoiled, so I knew kind of what the beginning sequence was going to be. I knew that all hell was going to break loose. People were going to be like, I can't drive because I want to die, that kind of thing. So I kind of knew going into it what the concept was, but what I didn't know, can we talk about why did this thing start in Russia? Was this about fake news?
Well, that's what Jim said. That's what Jim said about social media.
It's about fake news.
But think about it, because Jim said, think about Facebook and how they infiltrated our election.
Yep.
Supposedly.
It happened, Steve.
I love supposedly because it's not a word.
I know.
But if that's what he said, is that was his point.
It's
but go
about
on.
fake news. Okay, all right. Well, then I kind of from the beginning, the very first scene, Sandra Bullock is screaming at these children. She's yelling at them, if you open your eyes, I'm gonna fucking kill you, that kind of thing. And I was like, whoa, she's losing it on these kids. I need to see more because that's how I feel.
Oh, right. That's right. That's how it started.
Yeah.
Speech.
Yeah. The speech was not what I was expecting at all. So it kind of grabbed me at the beginning.
And that for me threw me at the beginning too, acting wise and direction choice. I was like, I don't know that this was the right way to start it.
Well, listen, if you watched A Quiet Place, you're damn right that was the right way to start it because kids don't listen to their fucking parents.
And they get trapped in silos.
The kids
listen.
Exactly. They get trapped in silos and suffocate. So that's why you got to tell the kids, don't fucking open your eyes. I'm not kidding. I will fucking kill you.
And what's the first thing they do?
Yeah.
What would have made it better is if Sandra Bullock said, "You remember those little fuckers in A Quiet Place?"
Yeah, right. Remember when mommy let you watch a rated R movie on the flight? Don't fucking open your eyes. Yeah. That's when I saw it. I saw it on a flight, on a Delta flight.
Dave?
Going in, I thought this movie was going to be. All I saw of it was Sandra Bullock was blindfolded and some dudes with guns, and then there were kids. And I thought, oh, this is a mother trying to save her children from some dudes with guns, and it's like a Saw situation or something along those lines. And so when I found out it was like some weird supernatural thing, like basically a zombie movie, I was like, oh.
Can that be the name of your autobiography, A Saw Situation?
That actually is. Because I find myself chained in basements a lot.
Sometimes against my will.
Sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes very much with my will.
Okay, now I will say this about the movie. I will give the movie credit for this, and I think we all could probably agree with this. We'll see. I knew nothing about the movie, and I was pleasantly surprised by how many A-list actors.
I wasn't surprised
And
by
Rel.
that.
And Rel.
It's an app called Soul Swipe, which I'm like, why y'all just didn't call it the Black Tender? You could have just said Black Tender.
I was not surprised by that because everyone wants to be in business with Netflix. I'm like, of course. I feel like maybe like the girl who played Dumplin', who was in this movie. I wonder if they're doing studio type deals with actors.
Right.
They have to be.
Yeah.
They have
so
to
that's
be.
why when I saw it Full of Stars, I'm like,
I know John Malkovich was in it. I was like, oh,
Right.
that's cool. And I didn't
Right.
know what's her face who won the Academy Award, who I love, who was like barely in it with the blonde hair, the older lady.
The older lady.
Oh, yes.
I can't think of her name, but
Yeah.
we'll just call her Jen.
On Golden Pond.
That's her. We'll call her Jen on Golden Pond.
Mm-hmm.
and B.D. Wong is in it.
Let's talk about the river ride.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the thing.
Those kids would have drowned in 2 seconds. Listen, I'm Cuban. I know. We swim for our freedom. And in the Florida Straits where there's sharks and shit, you would not put kids with nothing. They didn't have like a
life
Life
vest?
preservers.
nothing.
Floaties. No floaties.
Nothing.
I would have put like one of those butterfly wings around their neck.
Totally.
And
So they
just
keep their
bob.
head above water. Absolutely.
Oh, I was thinking it'd keep their bodies above water and their head under.
Oh.
You flip it.
Oh, okay.
Vertically.
Right.
Yeah. You put the butterfly wing upside down.
Right.
Remember the rapids? Remember I told you about the rapids? Well, they're close. It is very dangerous, and there's only one way for me to navigate through them. Somebody has to look.
I'll look.
No, I will decide. Okay, I will decide. Just give me a second.
I totally
Those
like
kids
that
would be totally drowned.
Yeah.
Not to
And
mention,
the birds.
But the birds, the mother-loving birds. Why? They're in a shoebox that goes underwater that's being gripped by a 5-year-old, and they're like, let's check the birds, make sure they're still alive. Oh, yeah, they are. That was crap.
A very loose top, I'd say, on that.
Yes.
That
Yes,
box
yes.
was not strapped down in any way.
No, that box was on like the top of an 80s comedy girl.
Yeah, it was just. It was, that's the other thing. I was like, those birds are going to die. They're dead. They've been watering them. They've been feeding them. Like, what's happening with the birds? It was
So
just.
distracted by the birds.
Can we talk
And
about.
they were alive for 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 5 years. Her hair kept getting longer and longer, but her makeup was the same. That's the other thing. I was like, her makeup is fierce after, murder and
Giving birth.
Yeah, her boo got killed. She gave birth. 5 years later, the makeup is flawless.
Totally.
I thought
Who
it was
made that
smart
choice?
of her to get the makeup tattooed on her face.
that was
just before the movie started.
Good
Right,
point.
maybe that's what happened. And they cut that scene out.
Yeah, they cut it was too
Right.
long. It was at like 2 hours and 5 minutes. I gotta tell you, I saw that. I was a little concerned.
Well, the running time, it was
Yes.
so
It was
long.
long.
I took
Thinking
a
it was
break. I
going
had to
to
take a
end.
break. Yeah.
Yeah, I kept thinking it was going to end. Like, I was like, okay, well, once they get to the edge of the river, that'll be over. Nope, it's just some
Nope.
crazy guy there.
Yeah.
Okay, once they get out of the house, it'll be over. Nope, we got to flash forward 5 years. And then I think the rapids showed up, and then it went on for another 30 minutes after the rapids scene.
Yeah.
And
The
I was like,
rapids were like, I was like, oh, this is where they die.
right.
And they did not die.
Well, if you think about it, how many times she got separated from the kids, pummeled somehow. Every time she got Sandra Bullock got, fell down the side of a cliff or got beaten up or punched in the face or hit with a gun and the children wandered. I mean, how many times did those kids wander away?
I know.
We started laughing about how many times they wandered away.
Stay
and
put.
Almost pulled up the thing.
I'm gonna pull it up.
First of all, I kind of would have liked to have seen one of them see the creature and then kill themselves. That would have been fun.
You mean the kid?
Yeah.
Well, you know that
There's nothing like
one of the children.
5-year-old death that just makes you go, yes, Netflix.
Well, they had a creature, and then they decided not to go with it because I read a lot about it because I'm like, whose idea?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was it the director or was it the screenwriter that was like, no, and Sandra Bullock? There was the executive producers and I think the director were like, we don't want to see it.
Well, they actually animated it.
Yes.
They actually created the thing.
Can we see it online somewhere? Is there any photos of it?
Probably not.
There might be. I didn't go.
'Cause it
I bet
reminded
somebody
me
in Reddit has it.
I bet someone, I think you're right.
Yeah, go
I
down
bet
that
someone
Reddit
turned
rabbit
to
hole.
someone else and was like, did you ever see Jaws?
No,
you know what works about Jaws?
Right, is not
Right.
seeing it. Now, the monster in this, or creature, or aliens, whatever the fuck they were,
Demons.
It reminded me of the smoke monster from Lost.
Oh, totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it also reminded me of all the voices they were hearing.
Yeah, it reminded me of Lost
It
too.
totally
Yeah.
was Lost. So I was like, you're kind of ripping off Lost. You're kind of ripping off A Quiet Place. Although apparently, from what I read, this book was written way before A Quiet Place.
Right.
It was
now-
written in
I read that too.
1924.
Are you
Right
kidding me?
after
Bird
the
Box-
Spanish flu epidemic wiped out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not.
Oh my God, that's so interesting.
How profound!
Give her an
And it's
acting
about
award.
social media?
You're better than that girl who jumped out the window.
Yeah, you really are.
Fabulous.
When was it written? It was written not that long ago, right?
Right, yeah, I can't
don't know.
imagine.
It was just, there's so many things. Dumpling jumping out of the window. I'm like, please. No, nobody did laundry. I never saw anybody do laundry.
That's because people were having sex in the laundry room.
They were fucking in the laundry room and nobody's doing the laundry. I'm like, you know what? There's going to be an STD situation because everyone's fucking the same people. You know what I mean? There's going to be a rotation. There's going to be
That
something.
would be great is when they were going to the supermarket, if one of the men or women came over and pulled Sandra Bullock over and listen, as long as you're going over, could you get me a Z-Pack?
Right.
What?
One of those things, maybe some doxycycline.
Let me just tell you, if that
Maybe some
was...
condoms? Can you
I
pick
would
up some
steal
condoms?
all of the drugs if that were me. I'd be like, I want
yeah.
the syrup and I
Yep.
want the Vicodin. Let's do this. I would steal all of it.
And I wouldn't leave the house.
Yeah, me either. But that's the thing. Why didn't they steal drugs? They got they stole
Chips.
food and chips, but no Band-Aids. You know what I mean? Get a fucking Band-Aid.
I was also a little curious because, first of all, they go on the shopping trip, and it's this long, drawn-out scene of driving with the navigator.
Which was great.
Oh, I
by the
remember
way.
that, yes.
I really liked
and
that.
So they're basically blindfolded in the car, windows painted over. They're using the Garmin, and there's a
The
reference.
Garmin. No, they were using their
2005.
The
they were
Tom-Tom.
using their Thomas guide. Well, I'm on page 67, guys, and I went to A, V, and if it should just be right here.
A17.
How did we get around LA?
Do you remember? No, do you remember?
Yeah.
Fucking A.
I came to visit LA and I was like, I don't know where I'm going. And it was 1999 and my friend was like, oh, you just need to get a Thomas guide. I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to read this gigantic telephone book while I'm
While
driving?
you're driving.
I delivered food in 97. And for one of those companies that like an early Grubhub before the internet, it delivered for CPK
Pink
when
Dot.
there was
Pink Dot.
And you literally, first of all, you had pagers, and so you got a code. You got paged a code 18, and that meant the CPK in Beverly Hills. And you went there, they gave you the address, and you looked it up in your Thomas guide, and you mapped it out. And
It's just
I used to-
Thomas,
by step.
Thomas
to
guide
call-
used to drive me crazy because you'd be on page 72 and you'd be driving and you'd be like, fuck, and you had to
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
the page, remember?
Yeah.
And sometimes there'd be an advertisement, you're like, God damn it, you had to flip past the advertisement.
I would
had to
cry
get to
all
page
the
5.
time.
It went 532, continued on 582.
Yeah.
Oh, for the love of God.
Did you guys ever have, everybody made fun of me when I first moved here because I called, I still say it the same way. I call it the Pink Dot.
The pink dot, yeah.
You're right, but my friends are people who are from LA. They're like, no, it's Pink Dot.
Yeah.
Pink Dot. I'm like, the Pink Dot. No, Sharon, it's Pink Dot.
That's like people on the East Coast, we called it the prom. and people in Arizona called it prom.
Right.
And when I moved there, I was just like, "Where's the? It's not prom. It's the prom."
It's like
Yeah.
on the East Coast, freeways are like
Highways.
Yeah, highways.
Or
but they're-
expressways.
Expressways, turnpikes. We should probably get back to
That's what I'm saying.
So what was I saying?
It was something very deep.
It's about GPS in the,
You were
in
saying
the
about
car.
the GPS in the
So
car.
they just kind of blow over the trip back to the house, which would
Yeah.
be so much harder. How
Yeah.
do you get into the fucking house? Because it's like, open the garage door and... nope, not it.
Are there any monsters in the garage?
That's a
When you
really
close
good
the thing?
point.
And meanwhile, let me also point this out. John Malkovich, it gets drunk and he's an asshole.
I loved him. He was my favorite character.
And they put him into
The garage.
the garage, and they're like, stay in there. So this guy that they let in is one of the
Monsters or whatever the fuck.
monsters
He's like one of the
disciples,
people that-
Monsters minions.
Yes.
He's like affected in such a way that he has to make other people look at the monster. And so he goes to the garage door. He goes to the door to the garage, and John Malkovich is locked in. And he's like, "Guess what, fucker?" Opening the garage door, and the garage door starts rising. And I was watching it, and John Malkovich freaks out. And I'm like, you know what's inside the garage? Another garage door opener. You just hit the button, and it closes. And I would have just loved it if he just went... hit the button and the door closed. And he was like, "Suck it, disciple."
Well, you know what bothered me too is like every single time they let someone in, someone gets killed, right?
Oh,
like
yes.
in the grocery store, that's when Rel Battle got killed.
Yeah.
And then all these. So
Now, can we clarify something about that
yeah.
really quickly? So the guy who's in the meat locker, am I wrong here? He's a little cuckoo banana pants or something. We
Yeah.
find
Yeah,
out?
he's,
And
one of
that-
the, he's one of the disciples
he's one
of the
disciples. So we
Yes.
find out
demons.
basically anyone with
Yeah.
a slight mental illness or a major mental illness becomes like a mean. But that was his deal, right? Because otherwise he would have just smashed his head probably 20 times
Yes.
into the wall and
right,
died.
right.
Oh, wait. So people who are mentally
I
ill
don't-
have susceptibility to possession in this?
Yeah, that's what they
world?
don't explain. That's
Yeah.
the weird
Wait,
part.
wait, wait.
Yeah.
I've got a kind of off topic question. So if you were infected, how would you die?
Oh, how would we die? Oh, I
Yes,
like this
I
question.
like-
I don't would
we
run
have a
into
choice,
traffic
do
or
we?
some shit.
No, I wonder if
I would jerk off to death.
No, you would not.
Okay.
You would
Well,
walk into traffic.
I would
You jump off a
I would
building.
walk in on Dave doing that and die of embarrassment.
Stab your own eyes out.
bravo.
That's like saying, like, would you rather burn or would you rather drown? What sounds more exciting to you?
What's your flavor?
It's just really interesting because a lot like they pick the most painful ways to die. Like one of the
It was
first
very
ladies,
violent, yeah.
yeah, very violent. Like just bashing her head against the glass.
Yeah,
wall.
until she died. Right?
Until she died.
Until her head exploded. yeah.
John Malkovich's wife walked into a burning car and just got
Sat
in.
down.
Oh yeah, that's when
Except-
I started laughing and realized
Yeah.
it was a comedy.
Um,
And then nobody listened to John Malkovich's character, and he was right about everything. He's like,
was
"Don't
right
let these
all
motherfuckers
along."
in my house." And they're like, "But he needs us. He's
The
one of us."
loud.
Yes.
I would be. You know what? I don't care. If somebody was like, "Please help me," I'd be like, "Sorry, Charlie, go fuck yourself."
yeah.
The loud,
here, bye.
straight, white male, rich guy was right about everything.
He was right about everything.
Well, there you go.
Boo. Well, I have a question. So just like I kind of didn't understand the rules of the world. I kind of was thinking, all right, so yes, the people who are escaped from mental asylum, was that a lie or was that real? How do you become affected? But then most of the people that we saw, except for the British guy, were pretty like
Normal
straightforward.
people.
Well, no, I meant like they were really like immediately they're like, hey, look at this thing. They weren't just like,
Yeah.
let me just
Oh, I see
bide
what
my
you're
time
saying.
and sit back and
Yeah,
act
that guy
normal
was a
and
smart
pretend
disciple.
Have you come to see? Open your eyes. Don't be frightened. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me!
Yeah, I don't know
Right,
how
they
that
got
works.
right to it.
How did
Yeah.
that work?
Right. Like, and then it's like, how crazy is he? Is he?
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
drawn the things, which I don't know if that meant like it was a slower.
Yeah,
It's a
like
slower imaging and slower,
takeover.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was drawing the monsters. He's like, "Do you want a cocktail? No, I'm fine." draw. And I'm like, this guy's a fucking weirdo. Get him out of the goddamn house.
Get him out.
I would have said, like, you know what? You're weird. Nobody draws pictures like that. Get the fuck out of here.
No, you wouldn't. I would have walked over and like, what you working on?
Can I put that on the refrigerator?
So cute. Look at that.
Let's all look at it together.
Let's all gather around. Look at his pretty pictures.
I was kind of wondering that myself because I think the guy, the African American guy who was like Sandra's
Guy from Moonlight.
Yeah.
the guy from Moonlight. He
My
looked at
husband?
the pictures, and I thought, well, should that turn him?
Yeah, I thought that too.
Because
Right.
the
Oh, yeah,
video,
yeah.
I did think
was
that.
thinking
Secret
that
on
too.
video turned
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
So
yeah.
BD
looking
Wong
at
flip
it-
out, so why not him?
It made me so mad when they killed him off. I'm like, can you just keep one fucking person from the house alive besides Sandra Bullock? Can you just keep one adult alive?
It bothered me, but I really love that scene where he like just takes off his blindfolds, like fuck it.
I didn't like that scene. I wanted him to live. I wanted them to.
But he fought it.
I wanted them to live happily
You
ever
wanted
after.
him to shoot Sandra Bullock and take the kids and
That's
be like,
not
let's
true.
go.
No, I fuck those kids. I wanted him to be with Sandra. I wanted it to be a happy love story at the end. I get that it couldn't be because it was a horror film tragedy.
that
whatever.
Sandra Bullock's
fought it
character
pretty.
was a
He went
sociopath.
pretty far. He fought it.
Yeah, he
like,
fought
you could
it.
see his inner turmoil.
Yeah, he was like, I gotta
did,
kill
like-
those guys.
Yeah,
because
I
they'll go
gotta
after.
do this first, and then whatever's whatever. But this
Right.
happens first.
Yeah.
Let's. Here's a quick little discussion. Speaking of the kids, let's talk about why the fact she couldn't fucking name them.
Girl, you have your kitty. Girl, time for bed. Girl, come on.
Where's girl? Where's girl? Where's girl? Where's girl? Where's girl? Girl! Girl! Girl!
That was the stupidest thing ever. Like, boy, girl. And then at the end, when they end up in the blind sanctuary, first of all, she just happens to run into her gynecologist. That's embarrassing.
okay.
That was where I was like, nope. Like that's
Yeah,
that's what it got. I was like, no.
Not even her gynecologist. She saw that woman like once or twice, and then she's like, I don't want to see you anymore. You're annoying. I'm going to go outside and watch things blow up.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
then
right.
Because she had the baby on her own.
Right.
And I love how she knew her first and last name. Like,
Dr. Landeman or whatever.
Sharon,
Yes,
Lorena Houston, is that you?
And I'm like, what? We've only met once.
Social security number 539146. Like, what the
And it
fuck?
has been 5 years.
That's what I'm
and this woman
saying.
hasn't changed.
I don't remember
wouldn't
people
have
after
remembered
a
the
month.
woman 5 days later.
Yeah, no, totally.
She's a very good doctor. But let's talk about the kids, not naming the kids.
I thought that was a weird way to detach from having feelings for them. Like whatever the author was thinking, like she doesn't want to feelings because if she loses them and gives them a name. But then when she names them immediately at the bird sanctuary, I'm sorry, the blind sanctuary. It was for blind people and
And it was
birds.
birds,
Yeah, both.
too.
They were
I
learning the birds.
I was amazed that the blind school had a, what do you call that? A room full of birds.
Aviary.
Like
Yeah,
an
like an aviary, and no
an
grocery
arboretum.
store. How are they feeding themselves? Where, is
Where's
there a
the food
blind
coming
CVS?
from?
Is there a blind Ralph's? Like, where are they
Well, they
going?
don't ever have to worry about ever getting attacked because
There's a-
they just go where they need to.
Yeah, but there's
I
a blind
guess.
pink dot too, which
there's
is
a blind
very,
pink-
it's not very good.
No, don't
I
you
wouldn't
mean the
recommend
blind,
it.
the pink dot?
Blind, the pink dot. Well, I was like laughing though because Dave and I were talking about this earlier before we started podcasting. But I just wanted so bad. I was like mocking the end of it, and Jim's like, "Stop it," because he was really enjoying it.
Jim
Because
is so sweet.
he's so sweet. But I was like mocking like the end, like she's like, "Your name, your name is Brian. No, your name is Lawrence. No, let me look at you, Jordan." Jordan, you're definitely Dolores. I'll tell you that. But let me look at you. Let me think. Marcus? Marky? What are you feeling?
See,
Like, it was so like...
And then like the credits begin to roll.
And then you just see her hand go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, push the credits to the
Not
side.
done yet.
I thought it would have been great if she turned to the boy and went, you're named after a great man. You are Marcus. I forget who she named him after.
Oh, Tom.
And then Tom. And then turned to the girl. It was like, and your name is Sniveling Little Waste of Time.
See, I would have loved if she named her Dumpling.
Named after the sweetest girl I ever met.
Dumpling.
Your name is Dumpling.
And then look at the
I'm going to
camera.
boil you
book
and then eat you.
Dumpling.
And looked at the camera and went, wink.
Yeah, it totally went, "Ding."
No, or that...
Up
Like,
next,
check us out.
Dumpling.
Dumpling.
And then you see a little window pop up and you see her jump out of the window again. I mean, it was just so weird. But I mean, I think we would have a better context for why that happened if we had read the book. But you would think that, I mean, I don't know who
she
you
didn't.
blame.
She didn't want the kid from the beginning. That was clear,
right. She was like over it.
But
one of the kids was Dumplings and one was hers.
Yeah,
That's when she was going to try to sacrifice little girl. I remember like when she was like, one of you guys has to look.
When
and she looks at like Dumplings' kid and is like, one of you guys has to open your eyes.
The boy was hers and the girl was Dumplings. And, you know.
I mean, first
One
of all,
was expendable.
when did you get that? Because I can tell you, like, as soon at the beginning of the movie, when she's like, don't fucking open your eyes. And then as soon as I saw pregnant Dumpling come in, I was like, oh, that little girl.
I got it right away.
I knew it right away. I'm like,
what I was I was kind of thinking about. I was like, okay, are they twins? Are they both from Dumpling? Or are they both from Sandra Bullock? Like, did Sandra Bullock lose her child and ended up with these two twins? That would have
been interesting.
You know, it's like there was a lot of permutations.
Oh, please.
The fact that they both went into birth at the same, they both went into labor at the same time.
Right. I'm going to jump out of the window Dumpling style.
We're on the first floor, but it'll still work.
It'll still, I mean.
Oh, that would have been so awesome if they were on the first floor. She just landed and it was like, well, I'm going to go run into a burning car, but there's no burning car. Then she just can't kill herself for the rest of the movie. All you see her in the background trying to kill herself, just like rubber mallets, just not working.
It was like really funny. It was like, yes, and it was like really poor attempts at things.
Yeah.
Like she finds a stapler and like just banging on her head. It's like, damn it!
And then at the very end, Sandra turns to her daughter and is like, your name's incompetent.
I mean, there really weren't any ways for her to kill herself besides jumping out of the window or slitting her own wrist or something like that.
Because the other lady
everybody
had
was
the scissors
dead outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we think?
The other lady had the scissors.
What?
No,
she was busy.
that is factually accurate.
What do we think the monster was? Was it alien? Was it chemical? Remember they listed all the things it could be?
Ancient evil.
Ancient
like
evil?
Cthulhu. Yeah, something like that.
I'm not sure, but I do want to point out the fact that, like, one of my pet peeves in movies, say, like, I can't even think of an example, but like Back to the Future. Like, you know, you're going into a movie to see someone go back to the future. You know that, Michael J. Fox is going to go back in time just based on the trailer. So you spend like 10, 15 minutes beforehand and you're like, okay, just get to the part where I know you're going. In this movie, they figured it out so fast. They're like, it seems like people look at it, shut all the windows, close your eyes. I think
really
these
fast.
are demons from the past because when you look at them and you're like, wait, you're doing a lot of math really fast.
Right.
How would they ever know? That was the other part of it, is like, how would they know? They tried to say like, oh, well, my boss looked at it and he said something crazy before he, like something about his brother, whatever it was. It's like, you can't piece that together.
No.
It's just, I thought it was a really quick piecing together.
That's why I want to read the book, because I need context. I need to know why I was conned into watching this fucking movie.
I want to see
over the holidays, and I'm mad about it.
I want to see the porn parody.
Oh my God, why does it always come back to this with you?
Because,
what would the name be? I mean, the word box is already in it, so what would happen with the word bird?
It would just be called
box?
Bird Box.
I don't know. That's a
Boner
really
Box.
I think now is the perfect time for me to surprise everyone.
Are we going to Bird Box
with a Bird Box challenge?
Oh boy, here we go. Thank you.
You have to put on these blindfolds. I'm giving everyone a blindfold for everyone at home, except myself.
Okay, for the millennials out there, a blindfold is something you put over your eyes.
They know what it is. They're the ones that were fucking themselves up during the Bird Box challenge.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
they were crashing cars.
So we all have ties wrapped around, or at least only our...
Can you see anything?
No.
All right. Now, this is the Bird Box challenge. I'm going to give you something to taste.
No! I'm not doing that.
No, I'm doing keto.
You have to taste...
Don't.
Okay, it's one little tasty thing. Yours is going to be very
right.
small, Sharon.
All right.
Yeah, yours is
you have
going
to
be
trust me.
It's going
Do we put our hands out?
No,
Do we take it off?
you're going to be like Jesus and just open your mouth.
No.
No. We're going to be like,
That's not like Jesus.
You're
That's
going to
like a
choke
bird.
me.
we're going to be like baby birds.
Sharon's first.
Okay.
Bird Box challenge.
Oh my God, this is so fucking easy.
What is it?
It's a Frito.
It's a what?
Frito.
You're dead. The monster killed you, you idiot.
Oh no.
It's actually a pita chip.
Oh my God, now that I'm chewing it, it is a pita chip.
Wait, so you're not supposed to eat that.
So, yeah, if you're on
She's
keto-
spitting it out. She's spitting it out. No, she deserves it. It's just little nothing. All right, you're next.
I feel like we
Stephanie.
just learned a lot about
Stephanie?
it.
Okay, Stephanie, this is a tough one. Here we go.
So, are you looking now, Sharon?
All right, it's.
Oh, you're still blind.
You're still blindfolded. What is
I
it?
feel like we should do the rest of the podcast this way.
Stephanie.
Okay. I think it's like a chocolate pretzel.
Oh, you're dead. The monster killed you.
No, it's a chocolate popcorn thing.
It's a chocolate toffee.
That's a
Oh,
chocolate.
yummy.
Okay, Dave.
Okay.
Okay, Dave, open your mouth a little wider. Wider. Okay, don't do that. You're grossing me out. Go.
Okay.
You can now by the shape, you should be able to get a good idea
Yeah,
of what it is. Okay,
I
you
did
know.
get a good idea.
Okay, what's the shape?
Okay, the shape is like a round pyramid.
Okay, great.
Like an
A
earth.
round pyramid.
A round pyramid.
That's a ball.
But it's what is? Oh, that's the microphone. I thought you put your like socked foot in front of my face. It seems like a dark chocolate Hershey Kiss.
Dave lives.
Oh,
Dave is the only one who lived.
I am the champion.
Oh my God, you guys are amazing.
Do
That
we
was
have to
good.
take the
No,
blindfold?
you can do the rest of the podcast with it on.
No,
I don't
I'm
care.
keeping.
Well, I mean, I feel like even though you guys said you liked it and you kind of liked it, I feel like you guys, I think I brought you over to my side to realizing what a ridiculous fucking movie
It was
it was.
absolutely.
It was absolutely ridiculous.
It was
movie.
ridiculous.
But
Yeah.
Sharon, I'm going to ask you this: would you watch? Is it called Stitches? Stitches. About the clown.
Quit bringing up this movie.
I love this movie.
I would watch it in a heartbeat.
It's about like Freddy Krueger. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street meets clowns.
Oh, yeah, probably not. I wouldn't watch that.
Are clowns scary? Do you think
No,
they're-
I just don't give a shit about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's certain movies I just don't. I'm not into a genre. The
zero
only reason I
care.
watched Bird Box is because everyone was talking about
Yeah.
it, and there were positives and negatives, and I was like, I have to see this for myself. And then I was angry.
I think the movie is a better movie than it has any right to be because of the cast.
The cast was so good.
It's like it has ridiculous moments in it, like the idea that there's no garage door open on the inside of the garage.
Right.
It's like that's
Weird.
the easy. I
just can't let that
why
go.
did they
No,
all
I can't
eat-
let that go.
Why did
That's like a 1980s garage would have that even, and now we're in the
Yes.
future, and you don't have that in your fucking
it's an
garage.
expensive house too.
Yeah.
You'd think there would be backup
What's-
floor.
Yeah,
There's-
you know he had the Ring app, and they never showed the Ring app.
You're absolutely right. That would have been the first thing.
I would have said, let me look on my Ring app. We'll find out who this asshole is outside
Who
who's
is
trying to
that
kill
outside?
us. That's what I mean. Like it was so like, let's look through the peephole. What year
They
are
didn't
you
even
in?
do that. They didn't even do that.
No,
were
they just
talking
would
through a
crack the door open and go, let's go
Well,
see poor person.
I have another question. When BD Wong is like, okay, I'm going to look at the cameras around my estate and see who's out there. Why did they tie him up and then leave him? Like,
Yeah,
why
I
didn't
don't
they
know why.
stay with him? Because they could have stopped him from. They didn't have to look at the thing.
Right.
They didn't have to look at the monitors. They could just be in the room.
I mean, that's the thing. I was when they were all in John Malkovich's house. I'm like, well, let's see how they're gonna pick off each motherfucker in here.
Of course.
And then when I realized that Sandra Bullock was gonna fuck the Moonlight guy, I'm like, well, he's gonna be the last to go, but he's definitely gonna die. Like
Yeah.
it was
It
so
couldn't be a happy ending.
formulaic. I mean, I did not expect Rel to die first because he was, even though he was the guy who worked at a grocery store, he was the smartest guy in the room. Besides John Malkovich, those were the two smartest guys in the
was
room.
really
Yeah, that's why I was like, why did you
inconsistent. He's
kill
like-
him off so soon? Kill this old broad off. Kill the punk rocker and that stupid cunt off. Kill them off. They have nothing to contribute. There's no story. There's no character.
So
You know what I mean?
the punk rock guy is Machine Gun Kelly, and he's a rapper.
So did the punk?
and I
No,
never
we don't
heard
believe
of
you.
it.
I know,
No,
it's- no.
we don't believe you. You know why we don't believe you? Because this book was written in 1924 by Elizabeth James.
Oh, right. Yeah, we don't
Anderson.
believe you. You're
We
right.
don't believe
We don't
you.
believe
James.
You can no longer.
We do not believe you.
All right,
The
all
other
right.
things like cars just explode at the slightest touch.
Yeah.
It's like
That's true. Because
there was
Teslas,
just
I don't
cars
trust.
on fire everywhere.
I have gotten in really bad car accidents. Not once has the car caught on fire.
Then you haven't tried hard enough.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. I got to go faster into those walls and trees. I've never seen a car explode. I've seen horrible car accidents. I've never seen them
Just
explode.
go boom.
But on this one, like literally every car like hits a speed bump. Bah, Everything was like outrageous.
Why didn't nobody bring up cannibalism?
Yeah, nobody brought that up.
No one even mentioned. It's like they're. I guess they're starving because they finally go out to the grocery store, but no one's like, BD Wong in there.
In real life situations like this, the movie, which was based on a true story about those kids.
This was based on a true story?
No.
Oh.
There was a movie. No. There was a movie based on a true story where there was a real cannibalism that happened with that hockey team.
The soccer team down in
Alive. But that actually happened. That's what happens in real life. Right. Whereas this was like it was so not based in what would really happen in that kind of a fucked up situation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was like, we're starving.
The wife was in the car, cooked already.
Yeah.
just had to blindfold, walk out to the car and be like, "Oh, here's some McDonald's meat," and walk back into the house.
Well, they weren't at that level yet at that point in the story, but they could have cannibalized each other.
Listen, that's keto. That's
keto.
Keto.
That's keto. I would have eaten it because it would have been keto.
You would have eaten the person, and you'd be like, "Oh my god, this woman was on keto."
And
I'm eating her.
Right, and I'm like double keto right now.
Wait, does it double it or negate it? This is very confusing.
I think it doubles it. But I mean, that would have been much more horrifying if you had taken real life steak. Like, what would really happen? Now, that would have been a fucking horror film.
Yeah. And the other thing was...
Leave them in the house, make them eat each other. That would have scared the shit out of me.
Right.
We're going to start working on that movie.
Yeah.
What, Cannibal Cabin?
The Human Box.
Food Box.
Food Box.
People Box. Birch Box.
Food Box. It's a delivery service.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
I was going to say something.
Food Box is humans.
Humans. It's a cookbook.
It's people.
It's people. She thinks she people.
I was going to say something about the rules again. Like, I kind of didn't quite follow.
No.
So you can't look at the things.
Right.
You can't look at a picture of the things. You can't look at a photographic image or video of the things. But so if that were the case, otherwise they're going to attack you. But if you're just not looking at them, they can't hurt you, right? So why are they freaking out, screaming, and running once they have their eyes blindfolded? Like, I would think that once the blindfold's on your head, you're like, I'm fine.
I think it fucked with your brain because they would hear the dead people a la
Yeah,
lost.
but that's like whatever. At that point, you know they're going to do that. You'll expect it. You'll be like, hey.
So much stronger than me as a person.
I know. You're exactly.
I hear dead people's voices. I'd be like, "Oh fuck!
I gotta look.
Yeah,
I'm gonna curl up and
you know it's not
just
them.
sit there. I'd be like, I'm not going to look because then this is a con.
Fake. Yeah, this is fake. And it's like, they can only say so much. I'd be like, okay, if you're really Christopher, like how old were we when we kissed at the prom?
I wouldn't even.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, at prom.
Yeah, that's one. Two, tell us a little more about Christopher and the kiss at prom.
At the prom. No, I'm just saying Christopher died and it wasn't my fault. So anyway.
Is he really dead? Oh, okay. He's not dead, for real.
And the book was written in 1924.
That's fine.
But yeah, like those are things that I was thinking of as I was watching. And I'm like, wait, but why is everyone nervous? Why is everybody all like freaked out? If all you have to do is don't look at them and don't listen to them, it's fine.
Right.
Wouldn't it be awesome if she's at the door to the blind sanctuary and you just hear this voice say, "You were wrong the whole time. I can get you whenever I want." And she just went crazy and killed herself.
You mean like the monster opens the door? Yeah. It's like, hey, welcome home.
I did
he has
expect
an apron
that.
on and some Hot Pockets.
Right.
And he's like, before I kill you.
But the Hot Pockets are people.
Pocket.
Yeah, Hot Pocket. This one has John Malkovich in it.
I do love a Hot Pocket.
We all, who doesn't?
Credits roll.
Credits roll.
Bird Box.
So should we rate this movie?
Oh yeah, we've got to rate it.
So this is what I got for rating. If you thought it was super awesome, this is a bird in the hand. Top rating. If you thought it was just, a good movie to watch on a Sunday afternoon, it's Two Birds in the Bush. I really want to make the joke there.
Keep going.
Okay.
No,
we got it.
And then if it sucks, I give it the bird.
Stephanie?
I would give it 2 birds in the bush because it is worth a bird in the hand. And there were 3 birds in that box.
Each one representing one of the
lived.
characters.
Yeah, I think it was fine. Like it was just, it had its riveting moments. It had its like emotional moments. It had some very silly, confusing moments and some really strange moments. Like the guy who's the leader of the outpost in the blind sanctuary, his name is Rick, like in Walking Dead. And I was really expecting Andrew Lincoln to show up. And I was like, oh, it's not that. We're in another.
And if Andrew
universe.
Lincoln had showed up and he had the cards that he had in Love Actually.
You are perfect.
The blind people couldn't read them. They wouldn't be able to read the cards.
They'd have to be Braille.
Dave,
yeah.
Sorry, lady, that's my nipple.
Dave, what do you...
Because they're feeling the cards.
Dave, what do you give it?
I'm going to go with the 2 birds in the bush. I think this is a fine movie to watch on a Sunday afternoon. I have to say it surprised me that I was as interested as I was in it because I like turn movies off almost instantly now.
I'm going to give it 2 birds in a bush minus, like a C minus.
You are a C.
I enjoy movies like this, and this one was like way better than some of the really bad ones we've watched, and we've watched some really unwatchable ones. This one at least kept itself going, and it had its
for 2+ hours.
And the reason why I give it the 2 birds in the bush mostly is because I do, and I'm going to stand by this, literally the best performance I've seen Sandra Bullock give since her very first role on Bionic Showdown, playing opposite Lindsay Wagner and Lee Majors in a TV movie in 1989, her very first TV movie she ever did.
Really?
Yeah, she played the Bionic Girl. And this is probably a close second to playing that part.
Steve, we need to talk.
Okay. Sharon, what do you give it? I'm going to guess here.
I'm giving it the bird. Yeah, not a fan. I mean, just read the memes. You don't need to see the movie.
Just read
You don't need
the
to see the
memes.
movie. Read the memes. You know what it's about. You listen to this podcast. You've heard your friends talk about it. Don't waste your time.
Sharon, where can we find you in the world online?
Oh my gosh. You can find me on Instagram at Sharon Houston, and it's spelled like Houston Street or Houston, Texas, or Whitney Houston, or however you like to associate the last name Houston. Twitter at Sharon_Houston. Bob and Donna at Bob_and_Donna on Instagram. Bob and Donna on YouTube. Judge Jackie is Judge Jackie Beat on Instagram. On Twitter, it's Beat Judge. I got to fix that. And then, and you can listen to us everywhere. And I'm there. And you can go to my website, IamSharonHouston.com, if you want to find out where I'm performing, because I also do stand up. I'm exhausted.
I'm exhausted listening to all that.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I don't even know my own
I
Instagram
don't.
account.
She
That's
doesn't
the
say either.
problem.
No
Yeah.
sleep.
I've had 4 hours of sleep last night. I'm hoping to get 6 tonight. That's the goal.
I'm hoping
girl
to have
can
6
dream?
tonight.
You're gonna have.
Wait, what are we talking about?
I don't even know what that means.
Sleep.
Hot 6.
Wah, wah.
Okay. Steph,
Mickey
you want to take
6?
us out?
I want to take you all out. So thank you for joining us on the Cinema Craptaculus journey. Special thanks to our special guest, Sharon Houston.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Thank you.
Hey, and remember, a bad movie is just as hard to make as a good one, just a lot easier to make fun of.
Ba-dum-bum.
We have an outgoing song. We need one.
What's the Bird Box song?
Let's see.
Will you still love?
Talking about
my bird box. Dun, dun, dun. Wanna get a bird box. Dun, dun, dun. Bird box tonight. No?
That sounded like the show open for Bird Box, the sitcom. And
Well,
like,
Yeah.
Bird Box is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Gosh, not anymore. They're all single camera. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare what's happened to our industry. It's a nightmare. We're living a nightmare.
He rocks in the treetop all the day long, hopping and a bopping and a singing his song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, tweet, 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 rockin' Robin.
Thanks again for listening to another episode of Cinema Craptaculus. If you weren't totally offended, or even if you were, please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @Craptaculus. And to listen to new and previous podcasts, go to cinemacraptaculus.com. Or even better, you can download all of our hilarious and irreverent podcasts from iTunes.